What's up, YouTube? I'm Alberta26, and I can hear myself again, and it's making me mad. Alright. Beep. What's up, YouTube? I'm Alberta26, and today's video I want to finally address the Beguiling Affix in Season 3 of BFA's Mythic Dungeons. I actually quite like this affix, and I'm enjoying it, and now I want to talk about it. So here we go. I want to start off with a brief explanation of the Beguiling Affix, and then I want to move into talking about tips, tricks, things that I noticed that are worth mentioning. The Beguiling Affix causes 3 different types of emissaries to be spawned randomly throughout the dungeon. They'll be with existing trash packs. So they will not only make you play differently, but they may also make you change your route through the dungeon in order to avoid them, or possibly you'd favor trying to kill one type over another. And these emissaries will be in different places from week to week, so you'll have a different experience every week of each dungeon. So first we have the Enchanted Emissary. This emissary has the passive ability Enchanted, so all attacks knock this emissary back. And then it also has a large aura around it called Blowback. Grants its allies, but not the unit itself, 150% damage reflection. So everything in this aura that you attack, damage reflected back on you, 150%. Not so good. So you can't kill this emissary, but you can take advantage of the Blowback passive that it has and keep continuously knocking it back. So you have someone like a healer, or Boomkin's really good, like really fast instant cast, whatever you need to do, a ranged person, so that you'll be able to attack that trash without murdering yourselves on the reflection. After a while, it will despawn. You don't really kill it, it just gives up, starts channeling Teleport Eternal Palace, and gets the fuck out of the dungeon. It does have an energy bar that depletes over the course of the pull, so you'll be able to see when it's going to teleport out. So basically just have some one or some ones, multiple, sure. Continuously keep it booped out of the group while everyone else deals with the rest of the pack until its energy bar has gone down. This will kind of slow down your progress on this pull, but that's the whole point of this affix. Next up, we've got the Void-Touched Emissary. This emissary has True Sight, so you won't be able to stealth past it. Channels over and over and over again, Queen's Decree Hide. This will do damage equal to 50% of the target's health to all enemies in line of sight and within a 60-yard radius. So you can line of sight it to avoid the damage, or you can run really far away. These mobs stay in one place. When you pull them, they don't move at all. And I don't believe they can be like booped around or anything like that, like with Typhoon. So they're stuck there. The Queen's Decree Hide will do all that damage to you, and then it also puts a stacking debuff on you that makes it do 50% more damage and just like start to fuck you up really fast. So you can try to either nuke these in a pack, just melt them, or you'll have to play a line of sight game if you can find a spot for line of sight. They don't eventually teleport themselves out, so you can't just wait for them to disappear. That won't work. You have to kill them. And they have a lot of health compared to other mobs. The Wowhead comparison is on a +12. A regular mob has 1.3 million, and the Emissary has almost 2 million health. You won't actually successfully kill it. When it reaches 1 health, it will cast Teleport Eternal Palace and just get the fuck out. And last but not least, you'll also have to contend with Emissary of the Tides. So this has the passive aura Queen's Decree Unstoppable. Any enemies in this aura become unstoppable, making them immune to crowd control effects. Stuns, knockbacks, slows, interrupts, silences, disorients, dazes, nothing. You can't do shit to them. It has slightly more health than an average mob, much like the Void-Touched Emissary did. And when it reaches 1 health, it will also teleport out. This one you can CC, although CC doesn't last as long on it. Like I think you have to reroute it every 7 seconds, and that's like a 60-second duration. Or on some packs, this mob will be there and it won't matter because there isn't anything to interrupt. Maybe you'll wish you could stun it, but it won't matter. But on other packs like casters, you won't be able to interrupt casters that are near this mob, and that can be a real tough time, like in Shrine of the Storms, or those mobs in Tol Dagor, the lizard dudes. Those guys hurt you, but you can CC it. So someone has to chain root it or chain sheep it or something, and you can pull the pack away from it, and then they won't have that debuff. Kill the pack, kill the emissary at the end. You don't need to keep this mob CC'd until you've killed everything else necessarily, just the things that you know you need to be able to interrupt or stun. So it's not necessary to make it into its own little single pull at the end after you've killed everything else. You can let it go early, once you've killed everything that you're worried about needing to interrupt and stun. The last thing I want to say is that the Enchanted Emissary has that energy bar, and it will not deplete when it's out of combat. So if you wipe and it's at half, it'll carry over into the next pull with half energy bar, and it'll disappear a little quicker for you, I guess. If you wipe on a void-touched emissary, that will retain the health that it had when you died. So if you get it to half and die, then you can just pick up where you left off. And the Tides emissaries will just full-on reset. So if you wipe on those, you're starting from scratch. So moving into the sneakies that I've discovered. Starting with Enchanted Emissaries, they have this odd habit of not being linked to packs that they're actually nestled in. So you can see me booping this one back right here, and these mobs don't care. Now you may be saying to yourself, Alberta 26, these mobs are channeling a spell. They're clearly busy. They're not going to pull until you interrupt them. Well, check out this pull right here. Come on, throw the thing. There you go. And look. Some of them linked, yes. However, that other one not. Clearly not channeling. Don't know why. So I found a few instances of this. You can experiment yourself. I would always experiment with either like trying to just attack the emissary and see if that'll cause the whole thing to pull, or just the emissary will get booped around. Or your other option is to try body pulling, or possibly even boss pulling, like I do in the Siege of Borealis clip, to see if you can get all of the mobs to come but leave the Enchanted Emissary behind. So that's my tip for Enchanted Emissaries. They may not necessarily be linked to packs that they appear to be attached to, so you have to experiment a little bit. It shows you a couple examples here. So that's Enchanted Emissaries. Moving next into Tides Emissaries, Emissary of the Tides. There aren't very many particular tricks for this mob. You just need to bring someone along who's capable of chain CCing it for you in the event that it's on top of a pack that you don't want it to be on top of. The only trick with this mob is that if you stun it at the last moment that it's alive, what's that, like 2%, and it dies while stunned, instead of channeling Teleport Eternal Palace, it will just disappear, vanish, that's that. It will still give you the percentage that it's supposed to give you, but the benefit of this is that while it's channeling Teleport Eternal Palace, it's actually still providing that aura to everything in the pull, and if you're able to stun it and make it just snap disappear, then you will curtail this extra time that you have to deal with the unstoppable buff that it's providing for the rest of the pack. So depending on the pack that it's in and the affixes, you may find that you don't feel compelled to CC it and you can just kill it with the pack. We had plenty of packs like that, but we've also had plenty of packs where we were brutally punished for not CCing it. So last but not least, Void Emissaries. There aren't too many tricks for this mob either. You either have to just race to burn it before you die or spend time LOSing it. Don't be afraid to try to be creative about your LOSs. You can see I used the stairs here. It's actually kind of a farther run than just going off to the left, I guess, but I was pretty proud when I realized it worked, so there you go. But if you can look for easy ways to CC it, or hopefully burn it within 2 casts of Queen's Decree. If you take a third one, you are more than likely going to die. Very, very high possibility. So get her down within 2 casts of Queen's Decree hide, or have fun LOSing her a bunch. Fortunately, none of these mobs can be affected by other affixes, so they won't give you a stack of bursting, they won't get bolstered or bolster other mobs, so you don't need to be afraid, say if you're burning down a Void-touched Emissary, to just burn that pack right on top of the Emissary and get the damage on her, as long as people have enough damage to burn through her, or have like an easy LOS spot. But yeah, they're not affected by the other affixes. So here you can see us trying a different shroud at the beginning of Freehold. There was a Void-touched Emissary on the normal shroud route. True Sight on those was going to make it not work, so we decided to clear a little bit of the trash on the right and shroud through. Luckily, none of them saw us as we were running up the stairs there. That was a little nerve-wracking. I've definitely been caught on that before, but this is an example of changing my route based on where the Beguiling mobs have spawned that week. Speaking of Beguiling mobs spawning, here's a little fun example from King's Rest where the Beguiling mob spawns as the trash activates in the trash gauntlet right after the first boss. Just boom, out of nowhere, there's an Enchanted Emissary on top of me. That was a little unnerving, but we managed to recover from that, just drag the mobs out and keep her booped back. So this last clip is a trick I discovered in King's Rest. If you attack that Shadowborn Warrior all the way to the far right, the Enchanted Emissary will not come with this trash. That's pretty convenient, as this is probably the worst trash pack in this room. It's got a little bit of everything. But on top of that, this is actually a trick that will work whether there's a Beguiling mob there or not. Oh, it's got too many stacks of necrotic right there. So after we kill this big bad champion right here, so you can see I allowed those minions of Zool to patrol all the way around. We didn't catch them, but they actually also are not linked to that pack, much like that enchanted emissary. So if you accidentally let those patrol all the way around, pull that Shadowborn warrior all the way to the right, and you are not going to pull those minions of Zool. And that pretty much sums up all of my tips and tricks, as well as just a basic overview of the Beguiling Affix. Obviously, you'll probably be able to find more ways to not pull linked mobs to the enchanted emissaries, or you'll develop your own strategies around Emissaries of the Tides. I feel like Emissaries of the Tides are probably the most challenging one to do. Like the Void Emissary does a fuckload of damage, but those Emissary of the Tides not allowing you to interrupt or stun or anything, that was very challenging, especially on Necrotic Week this past week. Not being able to even root or like CC or anything, you know, necrotic stacks in really big pulls were able to get pretty high unless you had high damage to burn down that emissary. Hopefully some of what I've shown here will give you ideas on how to trick and sneak your way through some of the other beguiling pulls. Like I said, the mobs are randomized. Their locations in all the dungeons every week are randomized, so strategies that you saw here may translate elsewhere, and you're going to have to come up with your own route every week. And they don't necessarily drastically change your route every week, but you know, sometimes they make you play a little different, and I really like that. I'm quite fond of this affix. I was going to ask what all of my viewers think of this affix. I still will, but I probably don't really have to because I have the WoW forums, so I can find out exactly what people think about this affix. So let's take a look. They're not terrible, but they're not fun. Very informative. I found that it became a game of let's try and skip as many packs with emissaries as we can. Man, this affix is so fun that people try to actively avoid it. Tanked a 15 Motherlode last night, which was my first experience with the new affix. It broke my spirit. I don't know what a spirit is, but I hope that you get it fixed soon. Beguiling is awful.
Whoever designed Beguiling should be banned from making video games forever. You couldn't be more out of touch with players in designing an affix if you actively tried to be. There's going to be a very noticeable drop in Mythic Plus participation this season with how absolutely miserable Beguiling is.
Please don't judge all Tauren based on the attitudes of this particular Tauren or their transmog. What the fuck is this? I just completed an 11 Atal Dazar with Beguiling. Hopefully the PTSD will fade in time.
Ion outright said that they designed the Beguiling affix with the intent of forcing players to take a different route, i.e. avoid them at all costs. That tells you everything you need to know. Did a King's Rest 11 last night. Enchanted and Tides were manageable. Void was a 50-pound bag of horse crap, and they slapped one down in every doorway and at the far end of every bridge. I hope whomever is responsible for this thing drowns in a toilet.
Of course, it was a mixed bag of comments. I've selected ones that I found amusing, but one player I found myself agreeing with quite a bit. Kelgar, the Orc Hunter. Mythic Plus players say they do Mythic Plus for harder content, but don't like hard content? ? Exactly. You can't complain, because I said so. That's not what we're going to say. I have to say I agree with this wholeheartedly. I don't think it's too hard at all. I think it's interesting. I think it's dynamic. I think it's challenging, and I fucking love it. So that's my take on Beguiling. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, hit the like and hopefully the subscribe button. I've been told you have to smash the subscribe button. I just, you know, my subscribe button can only take so much smashing, so if you want to downgrade to an excited click or possibly even just a mildly interested click, I'm not going to be picky about it. If you like this video and want to see more content, I also have a Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Alberta26. Please check it out. Until next time, thanks for watching, YouTube. I'm Alberta26, telling you to game the fuck on.